The day I received the highest honor of my military career, my father looked me in the eyes and said 4 words I will never forget. "You were invited here." I was standing in full dress uniform. My medals were already on my chest. The ceremony was 20 minutes away, and the man who was supposed to be proudest of me was trying to make me leave. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I simply straightened my beret, took a slow breath the way my drill sergeant taught me 11 years ago, and I walked inside anyway. What happened next? Nobody in that room saw coming. Not my father, not my brother. Not even me. If stories like this speak to something inside you, hit that subscribe button right now. Because every single week I share stories of women who were pushed down and chose to rise anyway. You don't want to miss a single one. My name is Sergeant First Class Diana Reyes. I am 31 years old. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and I have served in the United States Army for 11 years. Military police officer, 2 deployments, 1 to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan. I came home both times with my integrity intact, my record clean, and a deep understanding of one simple truth. The people who doubt you the loudest are usually the ones who know you best. In my case, that person was my father. Growing up, my father made one thing very clear. The Army was for men. He said it at dinner tables. He said it at family gatherings. He said it every single time I mentioned wanting to serve. "Mia, the military will break you. Women are not built for that life." My mother stayed quiet. My brother nodded along. I listened. I said nothing. And 2 weeks after my 18th birthday, I walked into the recruiting office on Mesa Street and signed my name. My father did not speak to me for 3 months, but I adapted. That is what soldiers do. Basic training was hard. It was supposed to be hard. Peace school was harder. It was supposed to be harder. I learned fast. I worked twice as hard as everyone around me. Not because I was trying to prove something to my father, but because I genuinely loved this work, protecting people, enforcing order, making sure that justice, real justice, was served. My first deployment to Iraq at age 22 changed me completely. I came back different, quieter, more focused. My father called once while I was overseas. Just once. He asked when I was coming home. I told him I didn't know. He said okay and hung up. That was our entire conversation for 14 months. That's when everything changed. When I came back from my second deployment, Afghanistan, 2022, my commanding officer called me into her office. She told me I had been nominated for the Meritorious Service Medal, one of the most significant honors a non-commissioned officer can receive. The ceremony would be held at Fort Bliss, full dress. Formal presentation. Families invited. I sat in that chair and felt something I'd not felt in a very long time. Pride. Real deep, quiet pride. I called my mother that evening. She cried. She said she would be there. She said she was going to tell the whole family. I told her to keep it small. Just her, maybe my Aunt Rosa. She said of course. What I didn't know was that she had already told my father. The morning of the ceremony, I was at the base by 0600. Uniform pressed, boots shined. Every ribbon in the correct order. I looked in the mirror and I saw 11 years of work staring back at me. I felt ready. My mother texted at 9 a.m. We're in the parking lot. So proud of you, Mia. I smiled and typed back a heart. Then a second text came. Your father is here too. He wanted to come. I hope that's okay. I stood there holding my phone for a long moment. Then I typed back. It's okay, Mama. And I meant it. I genuinely meant it. I thought maybe, just maybe, this was his way of finally showing up. I was wrong. I saw them near the entrance of the ceremony hall 30 minutes before it began. My mother looked beautiful. My Aunt Rosa was already emotional. My brother Marcus was there too, looking uncomfortable in a button-down shirt. And my father, standing straight, arms crossed, expression unreadable. I walked toward them in full uniform. My mother grabbed my hands immediately. "Mia, you look..." She couldn't finish. Her eyes filled up. I hugged her tight. Then I looked at my father. He looked at my uniform, at my ribbons, at my beret. And then he said it, quietly, so only I could hear. "You weren't invited here, Diana. This is a military event. You should be sitting with the families, not pretending to be part of something you're not." The words landed like a physical thing. I stood completely still. My mother had not heard. She was talking to Aunt Rosa. My brother had heard. He looked at the floor. I looked at my father for a long moment. And then I did what 11 years of military training had prepared me to do. I said nothing. I simply nodded once, turned around, and walked toward the ceremony hall. But what he didn't know was, he was about to find out exactly who his daughter was. In front of everyone, the hall was full. Officers, NCOs, families, distinguished guests. I took my position with the other honorees at the front. I could see my family in the third row. My mother sitting forward, hands clasped. Aunt Rosa with her phone ready. Marcus staring at his shoes. My father sitting with his arms still crossed. The ceremony began. The commanding general, Brigadier General Patricia Walsh, took the podium. She spoke about service, about sacrifice, about what it means to wear the uniform with honor every single day. Then she began reading the citations. When she reached mine, she paused, and she said something I did not expect. "Sergeant First Class Diana Reyes, in 11 years of service, this soldier has demonstrated the kind of quiet, unwavering excellence that defines the very best of what this army produces." She listed my deployments, my commendations. A specific incident in Afghanistan, a situation involving a civilian protection operation that I had never discussed with my family, with anyone outside the military. Details that made several people in the audience lean forward. Details that explained exactly what I had been doing for the past 11 years. I heard a small sound from the third row. "I do not look." General Walsh stepped down from the podium. She walked directly to me. She looked me in the eyes with the kind of respect that you cannot manufacture or perform, and she pinned the Meritorious Service Medal on my chest. Then she leaned slightly forward and said quietly, "Your country is grateful, Sergeant." And so am I. The room applauded. I held my composure perfectly. 11 years of training. After the ceremony, I found my family near the reception area. My mother was crying fully now. Aunt Rosa was fanning her face. Marcus was standing quietly with an expression I had never seen on him before. Something that looked like awe. My father was standing slightly apart from the group. When I reached them, General Walsh happened to be walking past with her aide. She stopped when she saw me. "Sergeant Reyes, is this your family?" "Yes, ma'am," I said. General Walsh looked at my mother warmly. "You raised an exceptional soldier, ma'am. You should be very proud." My mother could not speak. She just nodded and pressed her hand to her heart. Then General Walsh looked at my father. She extended her hand. "And you, sir, your daughter is one of the finest MPs this installation has produced in a decade. You must be incredibly proud." My father shook her hand. He opened his mouth. And for the first time in my entire life, my father had absolutely nothing to say. He called me 2 days later. I let it ring once. Then I picked up. He didn't apologize directly. That was not his way. He probably never would. But he said something that, for him, was everything. "I saw the general shake your hand." "Yes, sir," I said. A long pause. "You earned that," he said quietly. 3 words. From my father. I held the phone and looked out the window of my apartment at Fort Bliss. "I know," I said simply. And I meant that too. The Meritorious Service Medal now sits in a case on my bookshelf, next to a photo of my unit in Afghanistan. next to a note my mother wrote me that morning that I found in my jacket pocket after the ceremony. It said simply, "I always knew. I didn't need my father's approval to serve this country. I didn't need his validation to do my job with excellence every single day. But I will admit something. Those 3 words, 'you earned that,' meant more than I expected them to. Not because I needed them, but because they were finally true." If you have ever been underestimated by the person who is supposed to believe in you first, keep going. Do the work. Document the excellence. Show up in full uniform even when someone tells you that you don't belong. Because the truth has a way of presenting itself, usually in front of everyone, usually at exactly the right moment. The strongest thing I ever did was walk into that ceremony hall anyway, and let my record speak for itself.